Erev Tov, Rabbatai. Good evening.
Behold, Rabbi.
Thank you. Yesterday was the yortzeit of Maran. 10 years after his passing, Maran Rabbi Rabbi Ovadia Yosef ben Gurjia Shlita, Allah Shalom. Shlita is too late already. Anyway, I want to tell you, in his honor, Leilui Nishmato, I want to tell you some things about the rabbi, and also how it ties into current events. Today, what's happening? Exactly about this. Okay, so I'll tell you something interesting. What happened was that, how did we get to this situation today with Hamas? This situation. How did we get there? Because, we had one prime minister, and, you know who he was. Sharon, They say, by the way, that he wasn't Jewish, They say that he was, his grandmother converted, reform, So he wasn't really Jewish, halachically speaking. There was a reform conversion. He wasn't Jewish. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to tell you about that, but that's the way it is. Reform conversion is not kosher. Only Orthodox conversion is kosher. So technically speaking, he wasn't Jewish, this guy. But the truth is, he was a big patriot, in the beginning. But in the end, what happened was that he turned against Gaza, and he took out he dismantled the settlements over there, the Jewish settlements. He got out and he gave Gaza to the terrorists, to the Ishmaelim. That's what happened. This is how we came to today, where we are. You understand? And what happened was that he made a mistake, big mistake. And so the big mistake was, amongst other things, that he got out of there without making any deal, any contract, some kind of a deal, to make some kind of conditions. To make a deal with somebody, to say, sign a contract. They don't keep the contract anyway. They don't keep it. They break it anyway. But still, to have a contract is a good thing. You know what I mean? When you do business, right? You have to have a contract. Don't just do business orally. You know what I mean? You have to sign and make the conditions. This is how you do business. Same thing also. How do you do politics? You got to have a contract. You got to have a treaty, peace treaty, whatever. You understand? So he didn't do nothing. There was no contract. You know what I mean? He just got out, left. He took out the Jewish people from there. He uprooted them. He closed down the shuls over there, the mikvaot, the yeshivot that were there, everything. Closed everything down. This is what he did. So what happened was, what does this have to do with Maran Rabbi Ovadia Yosef? Because what happened was that in those days, all the rabbis, including Maran, they were telling Sharon, don't do it. This is a very big mistake what you're doing. You can't just get out of there. You have no treaty, you have no contract, nothing. Just leaving this place to the to these terrorists. So all the rabbis were against it. All the rabbis. No rabbi was supporting this kind of thing. So what happened was that Sharon was, he's very, very akshan, very, very stubborn person. Knocking on the table like this, Joff. No. Whatever I say goes. That's it. Like a dictator, he got out of there. And now, after 20 years, this is what we have. This is the result. So why do I tell you this, Rabbatai? Very simple. It says in the Talmud, also in the Zohar Kadosh, it says, Chacham adif min navi. You know what that means? A Talmid Chacham is bigger than a Navi, bigger than a prophet. So what does that mean? That Torah that he has, the Torah that he learned, he makes a decision, this is from the Torah, this is from Hashem. It's bigger than prophecy, bigger than Nebuah. That's what it says, So it's a big thing, to have a decision of a big Chacham like this, Gedol Ador. But this guy, he didn't want to listen to nobody, he just did what he did. But right, they say, in Pirkei Avot, Ezeu Chacham, Haroeh et hanolad. You know what that means, right? Who's the real Chacham? The person who sees what's going to be. And when you do this, right, what's going to be the next step? If you see that, you ro'eh et hanolad, you see the next things that are coming, you're really Chacham. This is the real Chacham. Understand? So Maran, right, and all the rabbis, they all saw what was coming, after this. That's why they warned him. Not to do this, But what can you do? This is what happened. So you see, there was a big mistake over there, big blunder. But you see from there, right, that the Gedolei Ador, it says in the Midrash, by the way, Midrash Rabbah, that a person, who goes to the sages, to the Chachamim of the generation, the elders, with the big beards, and the big Torah, big shoulders. If he asks them what to do and he does what they say, everything he does will succeed. Everything he does will succeed. Because they have that Torah, They have the word of Hashem inside of them. If you ask them to do it, to give you an answer, they'll give you an answer. Just listen to them. Even if they tell you, you know what Rashi says, right? Even if they tell you black is white and white is black, listen to them anyway. Doesn't matter. Yes, white is black. Yes. I don't understand. What are you telling me, Rabbi? White is black? Yeah. White is black. Yeah. You think it's white, black? I say it's white. Don't teach me how to do these things. So this is what happened. With Maran Rabbi Shalom, that he predicted this. He already knew, and that's why in the end, what happened, right? Before he was going to leave Gaza, before he was going to uproot the settlements, he cursed him. Kalala. He cursed Sharon and he died. That's it. Finished him. They say. They say in the Talmud, Klala of Talmid Chacham always comes, no matter what. He cursed him, finished him. That's what happened. But it was too late, because he already uprooted the settlements, and this is what we have today. 1,500 people dead. Shem Yirachem. And how many more are going to die, right, in the end? It's going to be over there. It's going to be Shem Yirachem. I don't want to say. I don't want to open Satan. I don't open up the mouth to Satan. That's one story I want to tell you. Another story, tell you something interesting. Who's the biggest enemy of the Jews today? Not Biden, right? Paras. Paras is the biggest enemy. Biden, whatever. We'll talk about him some other time. But Paras is the number one, right? Persia. This is the number one enemy. So the truth is that I have also a story about this. You know what happened in the 70s, right? When Maran was chief rabbi of Israel, Rishon LeZion, he went to Paras over there to visit. This was at the time when the Shah was, Shah was the king over there. There was no Khomeini and all this stuff, right? Yimach Shemam. There was nothing like that. So Shah was there, and everything was good. The Shah liked the Jews. They were good with Israel. Everything was good. Everything was Baruch Hashem, beautiful. So what happened was that he went to a certain city. I think it was Mashhad. And they built over there a beautiful synagogue. Bet Knesset, beautiful. Large, like fancy, marble, marmarillo, this, all kinds of things, like the Persians like to make, nice shul, they like to make beautiful shuls. It's beautiful, Baruch Hashem. The Sfaradim, they're good with this, The Sfaradim, they make all the shuls beautiful. This is a big mitzvah. Anyway, Maran, they took him over there, to the shul, So they said, okay, Rabbi, look at this. We just built this beautiful building, huh? What do you say? Baruch Hashem, huh? So the rabbi told them, he says, how much did you spend on this building? They said, oh, Rabbi, it was $10 million. In the 70s, that was a lot of money. Today it's like 30 million. Whatever, So whatever, more than that, yeah. So anyway, right, so Maran, he looked at them and says, you spent $10 million on this building? He says, you should have been opening up kollels and yeshivot, spending money on that. What do you care about this fancy marble and all these wood and all this stuff? He says, you should do like the Ashkenazim, he said, Look what he said, the Ashkenazim. What does that mean? The Ashkenazim are more practical, what I mean? What they do is, instead of spending money on marmarillo and, marble and wood, they spend money on education. You understand? They open up kollels, they open up yeshivot to teach people Torah. Because this is the main mitzvah that we have today, Education is the number one thing. So, he told them, he said, you made a big mistake what you did, spending $10 million, he says. So you know what happened, right? So he went back, to Israel, everything finished. The visit was finished. So what happened? A few months later, the revolution came. Khomeini, came. He destroyed everything, and they say that shul now is barely being used. They don't even use it so much because there's nobody there anymore. All the Jews left; they ran away. You know what I mean? So that $10 million that they spent on that shul, Maran, he was right. It was a waste of money because in the end, right, they're not even using it properly. Understand? So this is the Dat Torah again, right? Same thing. That a person who has Dat Torah, a person who's Gdolador, you have to listen to what he tells you. If he tells you something, you got to listen to him. Even though you don't understand. I don't understand, Rabbi. What are you talking about? Well, it's a beautiful shul. You don't like the shul? Yeah, shul. It's just a piece of wood, a piece of stone. We need to educate our children. We need education. We have to make yeshivot and kolelim to educate our children. This is what we need. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen. Yeh zichro baruch, amen, amen.